This is the San Francisco 49ers Report. My name is Chase Sr. Thanks to everybody for hanging out here on the show. And coming up, should the Niners trade for Cincinnati Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson? Some developments on this front and an update that we need to pass along for those of you who want San Francisco to up their pass rush game. And also, Niners kicker Jake Moody has made a big change. Will it matter? We'll see. First, let's begin with this, and speaking of Trey Hendrickson, the Niners drafted Mykel Williams out of Georgia with the 11th overall pick back in April's NFL draft, so this could halt his development. This could limit Mykel Williams' snaps, and that's going to be a part of the conversation here today. So should the Niners trade for Trey Hendrickson? I want you to type trade or pass down in the comment section right now. And in a vacuum, Hendrickson, one of the most special pass rushers in the National Football League. He has shown a consistent ability to collapse the pocket, cause havoc against opposing offenses, and get after the quarterback. And right now, he wants to get paid, and it's not just that he wants to get paid as he enters the final year of his contract. He's also, because he's played so well in recent memory, looking for a big pay raise. So he's currently in a contract standoff with the Cincinnati Bengals. Not only is he going into the final year of his deal, but as is usually the case with how these contracts are structured, there's no more guaranteed money left on that contract that he signed with Cincinnati. And he got off to his NFL career as far as his start with the New Orleans Saints. He has said publicly, and he said this multiple times, that he wants to stay in Cincinnati. Him and his family call that area home. But he also wants a new deal, and he's not afraid of going somewhere else to get compensated and to continue his NFL career. There is a new report out there that the Bengals are offering him $28 million per year on a contract extension. That sounds like a lot of money, and of course it is. Not at that pass rusher spot just because of where the market is and how well Hendrickson has played. You don't believe me? How about this number here? He has the most sacks in the National Football League among all players the last 2 years. More than the likes of Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Max Crosby, and some of the top pass rushers in the game. And of course, I'm going to throw Nick Bosa's name into that category too. But 17.5 sacks in each of the last 2 years. He has been an excellent player for Cincinnati. When he started his career with New Orleans, he was really good. Then the Bengals signed him as a player who they thought was going to continue on this trajectory of improving. That's exactly what has happened. And his stats with the Bengals, 14 sacks in 2021, 8 sacks in 2022, and then 17.5 the last 2 years with really good quarterback hit numbers. The pass rush grade, pass rush win rate has obviously been excellent too, and the durability has been there, has not missed a game since 2022. Going back to the contract though, the Bengals are offering him $28 million per year. That would put him number 8, right behind TJ Watt, because obviously you see the fine details there. You see Josh Allen of the Jags at 28.25. You see Brian Burns at 28.20. Then you see TJ Watt just north of $28 million. Then there's a gap between Watt and Montez Sweat. And so Hendrickson would become number 8 on this list. He obviously wants to be up there as I would imagine a top 5 pass rusher in the game as far as what he's compensated, and he certainly deserves that, even though he's entering the wrong side of 30 years old. Now, Joe Burrow this offseason, the Bengals quarterback, has said, we need to be aggressive, and we need to pay some of our own players. Well, the Bengals did that with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and Burrow basically strong-armed Cincinnati into paying Burrow's top 2 receivers. How about on defense, though? They've lost a bunch of players. They lost their defensive coordinator. I think they need Trey Hendrickson. I think Joe Burrow knows that too, but he was kind of taking care of his offensive guys, and he has to know the Cincinnati organization has historically been pretty cheap. Here's what Burrow said recently, finally breaking his silence on Hendrickson. We'll see what happens with that. You guys all know how I feel about Trey. He's a great player. I love Trey as a guy. He goes out, he plays well every single Sunday. He's very productive. He's a guy that deserves to get paid and get paid what he wants. and what the market is. So like I said, we'll see what happens with that, but I love Trey, and I hope he's with us. Burrow knows how contract negotiations go. He got a bag. He played a role in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins getting paid. He knows how these things work out. And he said about Hendrickson, he deserves to get paid what he wants and what the market is. Well, if the Bengals are offering Hendrickson $28 million, that's not enough. And so the price tag to trade for Hendrickson is going to be a lot. And from the Niners' standpoint, they would have to pay Hendrickson as well. That's why I'm saying no to this deal, because it also doesn't make sense with what the Niners' timeline is. New report from Ian Rappaport as well. I would be surprised as of right now if he got traded, only because let's say the Bengals held out for a premium draft pick. We're talking about a first rounder for someone as talented as Trey Hendrickson. That would make a lot of sense. The problem is value-wise. Not every team wants to give up a first rounder, then a huge new contract to somebody who is 30 years old, just philosophically speaking. And that's what I said. Like, he's on the wrong side of that 30-year-old number. And so my take on this, Hendrickson's a great player. 17.5 sacks the last 2 years. You turn on the tape, he plays with motor. He can win with the bull rush. He can win with an arsenal of pass rush moves. The consistency, the durability, great for the locker room. All that is great. But the Niners drafted Mykel Williams for a reason. And I think Mykel Williams, a guy who started as a freshman on a Georgia team littered with NFL players that won a national championship, he's ready to play right now. He has the size. He needs to work on the pass rushing a little bit, but he's NFL ready against the run, NFL ready as far as physicality, and I don't want Hendrickson now and in the future getting in the way of the development of Mykel Williams. That's how draft picks end up being busts if they don't have that opportunity and the runway to develop, improve, and understand what the NFL game is all about. Still to come here on the show, Niners kicker Jake Moody has made a big mechanical change. What is it? Stay tuned for that. But first, great deal that we want to tell you about. Thanks to our friends at Fanatics, this Niners shirt, it's on sale for only $18. If you want to rep the Niners, save some money, and get swagged out, head to chatsports.com/faithful. It'll take you to our friends at Fanatics. Fanatics will know that Chase Sr., the 49ers Report, and Chat Sports sent you. To the back half of the show, Jake Moody has made a big change. The 49ers kicker, entering a big year 3, has made this mechanical alteration to his game that he's hoping will help him rebound from what was a really rough 2024 campaign that I think can be chalked up as a disaster. In his final 9 games, Jake Moody looked lost. He kicked like he was lost, and the results, they spoke loudly. He was 11 of 20 in his final 9 games. And to start his career, just can't justify him being a third-round pick. Never take kickers in the 3rd round. Take them late in the 7th round or sign them as UDFAs, because it always turns out, seemingly, to go in the wrong direction in a mentally fickle position when you put pressure on a mentally fickle position when you take them in that 3rd round. Now, as a rookie, I think he was better than what a lot of people gave him credit for. 21 of 25, 4 of 6 on 40 to 49 yards, 2 of 3 on kicks of 50-plus yards, 60 of 61 on extra points. 84% is not what you love, especially when you move on from Robbie Gould, who never missed in the playoffs and was nearly automatic. That percentage is a little bit low. A lot of people rip Moody for what he did in the Super Bowl, but he did hit 2 kicks of 50-plus yards. But then you just can't come up with excuses for what happened last year. I know he got hurt in week 5, and he suffered that ankle injury because of the bad special teams coverage, but my gosh, 24 of 34, 6 of 11 on kicks of 40 to 49 yards, 4 of 9 from 50 or longer. Did only miss 1 extra point, but a field goal percentage of 70.6%. So to start his career among all kickers in the NFL the last 2 years, he's one of the lowest graded kickers as far as field goal percentage. And you take a look at the numbers there, weeks 10 through 18, 10 of 18 on his field goal attempts, and it got to a point where Kyle Shanahan was throwing his play sheet, He was throwing the iPad. He was fed up with Moody. And Moody, you looked at him and you're like, he has no confidence that he's going to split the uprights here. Hopefully some time off and offseason can fix that. Maybe an alteration to his mechanics can fix that. Here's what he had to say to Vic Tafur, who is now covering the Niners for The Athletic. It's unacceptable to be kicking the way I was the second half of the year. I don't know if I lost any confidence, but stuff always creeps into your head, especially after missing a bunch of kicks. But those kicks are irrelevant now. It's in the past. And I like to have a one-kick mentality as in the next kick. Right now, I've been kicking the ball really well, so I feel like I'm in a good headspace. That's good. When a kicker loses confidence, you can see it, you can sense it, and the results, they back that up. When a golfer loses confidence, they just start spraying the ball all over the yard, whether it be off the tee or anywhere on the golf course. For Jake Moody, the change, he is now taking 2 steps into his kicks instead of 3. So you know how the kickers always like line up kicks and they're like 1, 2, 3. And then for a righty, you take 2 steps to the left. Well, now Jake Moody, he's 1, 2, and then probably the 2 steps over there to the left. Is that going to impact his power? He's always had a strong leg, but this is something that we will be watching closely. This is a position battle that's very important for the Niners in 2025. Moody cost them games last year. He can't cost them games this year. The margin for error in the National Football League is way too slim, and there's a lot of pressure going on him going into 2025. So will Jake Moody be the Niners kicker this upcoming season? Type yes, type no, let me know. Hope you enjoyed the show, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.